Hey, pool owners and other really cool people who just like water or pools. So it's me again, Ryan at Laps. If you don't know who I am, that's okay. This is the first time for everything. So I'm going to give you just a couple of quick tips. In light of the chlorine shortage and tablet shortage, I want to go over a few things that can make your life a lot easier when it comes to taking care of the pool, and how even if you don't have tablets, or if you're running real low on chlorine or have a very limited supply to use, how you can still use a few other products to really make your life easy and still be able to swim and have good water quality, as long as you can still scavenge just the tiniest amount of chlorine out there. So I've got some notes, so bear with me. I just want to make sure that I talk about everything, and there will probably be subsequent videos that come out that will focus a little bit more on some of this. Now, if you've heard anything that I've said before, or you follow us at all, you're going to hear me sound like a broken record for 2 seconds. Just bear with me. 1 second. Optimizer. It's amazing. It is a boric acid. It makes the water really, really soft. It has an algae killer built into it. It has a clarifier built into it. It basically just makes everything work better in conjunction with all. It's kind of like world peace in your water. Everybody loves everybody, and we all work together. Basically what it's doing is making your chlorine be able to be more efficient. You may not have to have near as many tabs. You may not have to put shock in near as much. You will always have to put in the same amount, but we'll get into that later. Secondary thing, which I left on the table, so excuse me again, 2 seconds. The instant frog. I've been talking about this thing for years. I've recently been talking about it real hard again for a couple of weeks to a month. This is something, it's minerals. I'm gonna lie to you if I told you what it was right now. I usually know what it is, and I'm gonna lie. So I'm just not gonna say it. The whole thing is, you put it in the skimmer. I have one in my skimmer literally right there. One of these guys does 20,000 gallons. A bucket of Optimizer does 10,000 gallons. I got a 12,000 gallon pool sitting behind me. So one of these guys and one bucket of Optimizer, I'm set for the year. I'm set for the whole year. Coolest thing about this guy is, once you put this in, this mineral pack, you're now completely sanitary with your chlorine at 0.5 parts per million. If you don't know what any of that means, what it really means is that's almost zero chlorine in a pool that can still stay super beautiful all the time. Normally, I've sold this as like a backup system, so that if you're out of town, you're not going to be at the house all the time. We're in a really big rainy season, like right now. This is like a backup system to you maybe not being at the house all the time and being able to take total care of the pool and give it the attention it needs. Now, this is a life preserver, as it's killing bacteria 24 hours a day in the water. Essentially, it's going out and attacking bacteria and other whatever is in the water, and instead of your chlorine always having to go straight to war to kill those things, you kind of just hang out and can patrol the pool just a little bit and swim around just like you do and enjoy itself, instead of just being used up and thrown right out. So Optimizer and Instant Frog are still the bomb. You should definitely be on them. I have this stuff at the store. I have a ton of these. They just came in. I probably have 60 of these guys in stock. At the moment, I may have about 15 to 18 buckets of Optimizer. We will be getting in some more shortly. But if you're interested at all, I wouldn't be messing around. I'd be coming down and trying to talk to us about it. So, all right, now let me get my notes out and talk about a few other of the little things. I know one of them is going to be one of the biggest things you can do to take care of your pool, and it doesn't have anything to do with putting something in the water. It's literally getting all the stuff out of the water, like leaves and debris and all of these things. These are the things that sit on the bottom of the pool that become a food source for algae. Now, if they're in the water for a day, 2 days, it's not a big deal. But when you look out here and there's stuff on the bottom and you're like, oh, maybe later, you're going to be the one that's getting in trouble, because the longer it sets, the sooner it starts to decompose. As soon as it starts to decompose, it becomes a food source for whatever bacteria is in the water. Boom, we're going to spawn algae. And I don't want anybody to tell me, but I've got chlorine in the water. Algae can be resistant to chlorine at almost any level. Let me say it again. Any level. It's just like when you have a headache. But you've been taking 2 Tylenol every day for your entire life. Well, guess what? Now those 2 Tylenol don't do anything for you. Now you got to take 3, and then you got to take 4. It's becoming the exact same thing when it comes to algae in the pool. Your algae can live in a 10 part per million chlorine reading all day if you're not doing anything. So if you can get that stuff out, now we're taking the algae's food source away. And now if we have a little bit of chlorine in the water, we're winning. Something else that's really going to help you, I have a whole lot of Algae Complete by BioGuard. And all the stuff down here, minus the Instant Frog, is all made by BioGuard. Great company. So 1 cap of this per week, because this is a preventative and a killer, so 4-ounce cap. 1 4-ounce cap per week is going to act like an algicide. It's preventative. So during these times of trouble trying to get chlorine or any other chemical that's out there, we can totally put a couple 4 ounces of this in once a week to help prevent. It's the exact same thing. This stuff is going out and killing bacteria or algae or any other form that's going to try to start algae, so that if you don't have a ton of chlorine to give your pool, you have some alternatives that are taking care of it. And by the way, any of you that can see what's going on back here, which the pool doesn't look near as clear on the phone as it is in real life, we've had this pool for a couple of months now. Not 1 chlorine tablet has been in this pool. We don't run tablets at all. We do liquid chlorine and acid and make sure that our alkalinity is taken care of. We have Optimizer and we have an Instant Frog in there. And that's it. Another product called Aqua Finesse, which I snagged the very last bucket of. Perks of being one of the owners at the store. So hopefully one day we'll have that again. Another thing is making sure that the pool is balanced all the time. And guys, the pool takes work. If you've had a pool for a while, you already know this. If you don't have a pool and you don't want to take care of it, A, call me, or B, move. Because you're not going to enjoy your pool if you're not willing to give it just a little bit of love every day. And by a little bit, I mean like 5 minutes maybe. But making sure that your water is balanced. This is Balance Pack 100. It's an alkalinity increaser. This is really just me telling you that pH and alkalinity rule the way that your water quality looks. If your pH and alkalinity are way off balance and way out of whack, you got chlorine flying out all over the place, you got calcium coming out of solution, making the pool water not even look very good. There's so much chemistry that is really here. You don't have to be a rocket scientist for your pool to look good. All you really got to do is ask us, or just do the tiniest amount of research or give your pool a little bit of love. But balancing the water makes all the difference. Chlorine is almost something that you don't even need. It's literally the last component. And one of the last things that I want to talk to you about is literally your runtime. So I have persons all the time coming to the store. It's July, which we're not there yet, or it's 110 degrees outside. We're definitely not there yet. And we ask, how long do you run every single day? And when we get answers like 4 hours, 6 hours, it is almost literally a little disheartening because we need some runtime. There's only 3 things, that make water perfect, and that is filtration, circulation, and chemicals. Sorry, disappear, my notes fell. So as of right now in the world of 2021, chemicals are short. Very short. So if you think of this as a pie graph with 3 different sections, and I can't make it with my hand, you know, it'd be weird. But 3 things, filtration, circulation, and chemicals. If you think of it as a pie graph, if we're just putting in chemicals being down here, all right, and lots of chemicals, our runtime and our filtration time goes down to nothing. Now we have almost no chemical to put in, which means the chemicals are going way down. They're down here, this little bitty piece of pizza that's down here, which means the rest of this is your filtration and circulation. They go way up. So now you need to make sure that you're running the pool. And literally just turning the switch on, you get 2 of the good things. You get filtration and circulation, as long as your pool is in filter and not recirculate or waste or backwash or any of those other things. Super, super important. And the last thing, and then I'm gonna totally leave you alone for the moment, is your equipment. Obviously, are your baskets full or are they empty? That's all about a flow thing. Your filter is the last big piece of the puzzle back here. We have a sand filter. We're actually running glass in this filter, but if you have a cartridge filter or a DE filter, make sure that those filters are clean. The cleaner they are, the better flow you get, the more circulation and filtration you're going to get, which means all that runtime that you're doing, because if you're going to pay for that electricity, don't you want the best flow and the best filtration you can get? With sand, it's really easy. You just take that puppy to backwash and go for it. Cartridge and DE, they need to be broken down a little bit more. They're a little bit more complicated filter. Technically, you get a better filtration down to a very small micron, if you want to use technical terms. But I'm a sand guy myself. It's real easy. And here's another thing. If you're having a hard time taking care of the pool and you feel like you've had a hard time taking care of the pool for a few years now, and you have a sand filter, it's because that sand needs to be changed. If you're not changing that sand, I'm thinking about every 3 years to keep it real fresh. You're going to have problems. You're going to have chlorine demands, you're going to have cloudy water, and if you're already somebody who's not wanting to give the electric company any of your money and you're pushing that bill way down trying to keep the on peg to the off side of the timer, you really need to think about sand quality. Sand is crazy cheap. Even when we come out and change sand, I mean, it's like $250 to $300, which let me tell you, I change it all the time. I hate changing sand. And it does not take long to do it, especially if you know the concept and the procedures. And if you don't know, I've got other videos on here that'll teach you how to do it. And if you can't find them, then just call us and I'll ask you to do it. So just some overview tips of how to keep your pool looking really good during a chemical shortage. I really appreciate y'all hanging out with me for almost 12 minutes. You know how long-winded I am, but it's all great information. And you've got to stare at me for a few minutes. So anyway, if you have any questions, please call the store. Don't hesitate. Let's all be super careful while we're out there swimming, making sure that the water looks good. Obviously, it's going to feel good. Make sure we're watching our kids, all the good stuff. So we're here for you. We love you. Have a nice day. Bye.